Hello, everybody. Welcome to More Than Organized Monday. And today we are going to continue with the steps in the process, the full, complete vision of the steps involved in actually getting and staying organized. So today it's all about knowing why you're going to get organized, what your desired outcome for your organizing project is. And just, to review what we went over before, we went through some of the steps. We did an overview of the steps of the process, and that was the why, the planning, the sorting, the purging, how to deal with what you're keeping, how to create systems, and then how to make those systems pretty, get the right containers for those systems so that it takes it even to the next level. So today we're going to focus on the knowing why and figuring out your desired outcome. But I want to make sure that you all know about the free resources over at morethanorganized.net as well. There's lots of information there. There's several blog posts about these steps in the process. There's a bunch of different ways of looking at it. And so this is just one of them. So stay tuned and check out morethanorganized.net to get some free simple tips, a way of looking at your paperwork and how to do a paperwork system start to finish, which is called the 1-Minute Mail Solution Kit. So there's a couple different free resources over there at morethanorganized.net. But when we talk about what the difference between organizing and simplifying, it's really, you can organize anything. I mean, you can organize every little thing on the planet, like the Smithsonian tries to do. You just categorize and label and file it away and cross-reference and index it. But that's not a very functional way to organize our homes. And so I like to think of it as simplifying your home. What can you do to really pare things down to have just the essential things that you want to deal with going on in your home? And then it's easy enough to organize just those things. So many people don't take the time to look at what's not working for them, what is going wrong a little bit. And it's a good way to think about it in terms of, well, what can I eliminate that's going to make it easier for me? And starting out with the desired outcome. So what is it you're trying to organize for? Are you just trying to get clean? Because that's different than I'm organizing so that I can be a good role model for my kids, so that I can start a new business and my time is short and I have to maximize the efficiency for dealing with all the steps involved in starting the new business. Is it because I'm getting ready to let go of all the things from an old life because I'm moving towards this new life, which may be downsizing, retiring, getting married, moving across country, any of those things, those points where there's a big change and you need to evaluate the new things against the old things and make it work. So it's going to help you make decisions. If you start with what's the desired outcome? What do you want the end result to be? And often when I ask my clients this question when we're first starting to work together, they don't know. And we have to do some exercises to make that easier. So I'm going to talk about a few ways to kind of think that through so you can get to a point of knowing what you want. And it's one of those self-fulfilling prophecies when you go through your clutter. It can help you figure out what you want. At the same time, you kind of need to know what you kind of want to start with in terms of what you want so that you know what you're getting rid of. And then it can evolve and change and adjust as you go. But you have to have some sort of end point in mind, or you can just continue rearranging and sorting forever. And that's not fun. And that's where people get burned out and annoyed at the whole organizing process. So instead, we want to help it be supportive to what you're trying to accomplish in your life and the kind of life you want to live. So the very first thing I have people do is just kind of take a little bit of daydreaming time and ask yourself, what would you like your life to be? What is it you wanted? Did you expect that you would be running to the store every 5 minutes? Did you expect that you would always be behind on the laundry? Did you expect that you wouldn't know what to work on next? Or that you would go days and days and days and not really even be aware of what you were putting on your body because you were just in zombie land grabbing an outfit and going out the door? Those are the kinds of things you want to ask yourself. What was that vision you like? Sometimes it's hard to put your finger on it because it's so not that. So start collecting ideas of that. Is it a movie or a TV show that kind of represents a life you kind of dreamed you might have? Is there a picture in a magazine or on the internet that might represent the kind of vibe or feel or end result you're looking for? Grab a hold of something and run with that as your starting point. Because like I said, as you go through the process, it'll become more clear and we can adjust it. But you have to start with something and not just, I want it clean. Because clean means something different to every single person in your household. So it's a little bit too vague. You want something in between there. Something in between just clean and, or better. Sometimes people just call me and they want it better. And what you're actually dreaming to accomplish. Okay. I'm noticing all the weird little light adjustments happening today. It's eclipse day, everybody. Okay. I probably won't get to see it. It's kind of cloudy here. It's very exciting. So that's a great example though. I love being able to take advantage of things that are naturally happening or once in a lifetime events and being able to have that flexibility in my day to be able to experiment and see if I can take some time to see if I can notice anything about the eclipse. But if I was so busy or disorganized and pulling my stuff together at the beginning of the week to be able to pull off the rest of the week or running behind already on Monday morning, I wouldn't be able to do that. But I've structured my life so that I can easily still get my video out and have time to see the eclipse. Hopefully, fingers crossed that it clears up just enough. Okay, so what do you want your life to be? Do you want it flexible and fun and spontaneous? Do you want it very rigid and routine oriented? Do you want to have more time to read? There's something you can hold on to get your organizing project off the ground. And then the next step that helps you make the decisions about what you're keeping is, what do you need to support that life? So I hit on a little bit of this last week when we were talking about the overall plan. But one of the ways to think about it is, are you a writer? Do you want to be a writer? You have to write. And what do you need to write? What is the minimum viable thing? Are you a computer typer? Are you a typewriter typer? Are you a handwritten person? Can you get away with a legal pad and a pen, or a moleskin and a pen, or a pencil? Or do you need the laptop? What's the minimum required that would make you a writer? And have those things. And then any other writing accoutrement in your house or your workspace might be necessary, but probably not. So what are the favorite things that would actually support you in some way? Is there a file of research notes for your current project? That's probably a good thing to keep until the project's done anyway. Is there a grammar book on the shelf that you use and reference regularly? You can probably keep that. But if there's a whole bookshelf full of books on how to write and you keep reading them but don't actually write, you might want to get rid of those because they're a distraction. You keep procrastinating by reading about how to write instead of actually write. Same thing in the kitchen. Do you really need the bread maker? Are you going to be a baker? Is that a good idea? Is that a good use of your time right now? Maybe, maybe not. But if you use the rice maker every day, keep that. So that's how you start figuring it out. What are the things you need to support the life you want to live? And as that gets more clear, you can go one step further in getting rid of some of the clutter. Okay. So, and keep the best version of things. Yes, you may need a pair of scissors, but do you need 27? Which are your favorite ones? Which are the ones you pick up all the time? Okay, so pick the best version. I think life is too short to not use fun office supplies. I think life is too short to not use your favorite pots and pans or wear your best clothes. Just pick your favorites, the ones that make you feel great. Don't hold things for special occasions. That's no fun. Every day should be a special occasion. All right. So then the other question I like to ask people is, let's just take a look as we're going through the clutter, which we'll talk about a little bit more next week. But as you start actually evaluating the things in your space, it becomes very obvious what you're actually spending your time and money on. Do you long to be more healthy and fit, and yet all the food in your pantry is snack food and junk food, and all the clothes in your closet allow you to be schlubby and larger? Maybe, maybe not. Do you long to be a quilter, and yet everything in your craft room is actually paperwork and unopened mail, so you can't actually get to your quilting table? Maybe. See where I'm going with this? It becomes really obvious when you know what your desired outcome is, that the mail doesn't belong in the quilting room. If you want to do more quilting, you have to move the mail so you can do more quilting. First step, right? Know what you're actually spending time and money on instead of the thing you really want to be doing. And sometimes it's kind of a slap in our own face, or a little bit horrific that, oh my gosh, how did this get away from me? Or what was I thinking when I bought that? Why would I need that? Doesn't do anything for any of the things I want to work on. Or maybe it does. But it can be insightful, and denying that it's been a problem is just a good way to continue piling more stuff onto the pile to hide behind, instead of thinking about what you can do to make it better. Okay, so I'm all about, let's just make it better. Now that you know you're accidentally buying chips, your subconscious mind is letting you buy too many chips instead of whole grain crackers, or a better alternative, it's easier to start making a better decision, because now you know why you need to make that decision. It's not just because someone told you you should. It's so that you can actually fit into the clothes you like wearing, so that you can do the thing you want to do. Whether that's, a nice suit for an office gig, or yoga for a yoga retreat, or, whatever it is, you start making the connections. What does this do to support this idea I have to live? And that's where you can make the biggest decisions and make the greatest impact on what you're trying to do. Okay, where does it match up? We just want to make it better. We want to get it closer to the vision you had. So having a vision, it provides the roadmap of what you want things to change into, what you want to become. And change is hard. And so if you have clarity around what it is you're trying to do, it's much easier to stay on track. Keeps moving closer to the vision, baby steps, incremental changes that will create really exponential improvements and results for you if you know what you're striving for. It's about the striving, really, more than the nitty-gritty details at this point. But unless you know that, we don't know when you get there. Sometimes I have a client, right now I have a client that wanted to update their whole home office. And after the first day, we cleared out clutter in most of it. And she said, we're done. And I said, except that's only step one. Because she had a pretty good desired outcome. She wanted the office clean. We started with that. But it became obvious as we worked that there was some other issues that are gonna create obstacles for her that we need to address, so that she can keep it the way we set it up longer term. So I just want you to be aware of that this is a roadmap, and we know what she wants to get there. And one of the other steps is going to be those strategies. And I'll talk about more about that in a few weeks when we get to that step. But this is to keep you focused all the way through the process, not just the sorting and purging. Okay. So exponential results from those incremental little changes that get you closer to your goal. Again, don't forget there's a bunch of free resources and other stuff available at morethanorganized.net. And next week, we are going to talk about actually mapping out the plan of attack for dealing with the whole house or space that you're working in. There is a method to the madness. And if you know what that method is and have a plan for where to start and the actual physical aspect of the organizing session, you're going to have a much better result as well. So start thinking about what you want your life to be like, and I'll see you again next Monday. Enjoy the eclipse, everyone.